Now, if you're seeing me, you shouldn't be, because I still had another minute or so on the intro. And I ran over to get something that I forgot. So lo and behold, here I am, I think. I am speaking to the masses, and if someone could just be so kind. Um, yep, you can see me. Okay, well. Oh, the technical glitch of the week is just a fantastical thing. All right, well, apparently I did something to um, screw up my timer. So, oh, here's the opening. It's always something. Ugh, I gotta tell you. Oh, there you go. There's the other title that was supposed to come up in this technological marvel we call my show. So let me see if I can get the correct title to show up. Let's see. Here we go. The correct title of this show is called Bob is Rockin' the Haftorah. And I'll explain that in a few minutes. But that was supposed to be the title that was going to show up earlier. Anyway, let's see if we can salvage this train wreck from itself. Shall we? Good evening and welcome to the Paul Report. I am your host, Paul Kravitz, and there is proof, the Paul Report is proof that there are forces out at work here more sinister than the Kardashians. So I want to welcome you to the show. Your presence here adds to my happiness. So this week I was going to have a guest on, but I fell behind on several things this week, and I didn't get a chance to touch base with them. And I wanted to do research, but I didn't. So my apologies to Chris, and apologies to all of you who wanted to see someone other than my mug. But we will try to get Chris on as soon as possible, hopefully as soon as next week. Looking forward, there will be a show next week, November 11th, and a week following on November 18th. However, the following Thursday is Thanksgiving, and our annual Thanksgiving show, is that even a thing, our Thanksgiving show? I gotta tell you, I just took my shoe off, and my little puppies are so much happier. All right, so we may or may not do a show on Thanksgiving. We'll see what the day brings. Who the heck knows? But then, either way, we'll be back on December 2nd for a string of shows leading up to the December 30th Eve of New Year's Eve show. Now, if anyone watching this remembers last year, we were thinking about doing a drinking show on New Year's Eve last year, but I couldn't because I had the kids. At least I thought I was going to have the kids, and it turns out that I didn't have the kids. I don't remember if I had the kids, but on December 30th is the eve of New Year's Eve, and guess what? I don't have to work the next day. So it is quite possible we might be able to do the Paul Report drinking show on December 30th, the eve of New Year's Eve. And to find out if my liver can take it, let's kick into the Paul Report health update. All right, so the health update, as we all know, is possibly getting canceled. Possibly. Reason being is last year the health update was born of my cancer and my surgery and all that good stuff. And then it just became this running gag of what's going on with me this week? How's the ab vag doing? What's wrong with my eye? Holy crap, I got a boil on my ass. You know, it just was one thing after another last year. So this year, being that I have another endoscopy coming up next Friday, next week's health update could be my last, because if I get a clean bill of health, that segment is going bye-bye. So next week, expect a possible series, but definitely a season finale of the Paul Report health update, and we'll see what happens. And yeah, but to talk about what's going on this week, yesterday I had and I got to be honest with you, this one hurt a little bit. It wasn't so much the actually going in, but it was the prep work before it. Normally, they numb my eye a few times, they dilate me, they do a bunch of stuff. This time, they didn't do half of that. And, you know, it was very busy in there, and I had to go in for one exam, go back out to the waiting room, go back in for a scan, go back into the waiting room. Then they came in, they sat me down, and the nurse just like unloaded this entire bottle of stuff into my eye. She's like, oh, this is the numbing stuff. I'm like, it doesn't feel very numbing. And then, you know, she put this little tampon-y thing in my eye. It's like a ball of something with a string on it. And she puts it underneath my eyelid. And I got to tell you something, it never stung like that before. So this thing stung like a mofo. And I was like, Jesus, Joey, my eye. And she's like, did that hurt? I go, yeah. I don't remember it hurting that badly. She's like, oh, your eye's probably not that numb. I go, you think? So we had a chuckle over that. And then she hit me. So yeah. So the doctor came in. She was very nice. She put the Clockwork Orange apparatus in my eye. I had to look up this way and then put that needle in there, and actually I felt a little bit of pressure, and that kind of skeeved me out a little bit. So yeah, so hopefully that's my last needle, and we'll find out in about 6 to 8 weeks. I did get the results of my MRI back, and everything looks pretty good. There's a couple little things in there, nothing to be too concerned about, but we'll find out more at the endoscopy. But for the most part, the doctor was happy with what he saw. And yeah, and other than that, my feet are on fire. Fire. I'm going to play that video at some point in the future of Joel just totally Beavis and Buttheading it, going fire. Anyway, so yeah, so next week's definitely come in, because we got definitely a season finale, because we won't do it the rest of the year. But possibly a series finale of the Paul Report health date. So definitely come back next week and check that out. This has been the Paul Report health update. Alrighty. So, let's get some housekeeping out of the way first. Let's see here. How about this? What's the first one here? Way to watch the Paul Report live. Why am I not on the screen? Why am I not there? That's just kind of weird that I'm not there. Very strange. Very bizarre. Now am I there? Here I am. Okay. Yeah, we're going to redo that for time, because it's important to have this out here and have it working ever so well. Okay, we're back. Let's get a little housekeeping out of the way, shall we? All right, where to watch the Paul Report Thursday nights right here on Facebook at 9 p.m. Anytime on Apple Podcasts. For updates, subscribe to the Paul Report on Facebook, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Instagram, and Twitter. And I am getting my updates out to Apple Podcasts on a regular basis. If you want to be a guest or maybe suggest one, you got a GFY nomination, you just got a comment about the show, email me, thepaulreport@gmail.com, or just message me on Facebook at The Paul Report. Yeah. All right. So there we go. That works out better. All right. So, little news story of the week that I came across that we had talked some time ago last year about this kid who was walking the streets of Kenosha, Wisconsin with a semi-automatic weapon, and he was not stopped by anyone, namely police didn't stop him, even though he's carrying around a semi-automatic weapon in the street. This kid ended up shooting some people and killed them, and now he is on trial. This kid's name is Kyle Rittenhouse, and one of the jurors in his trial has been dismissed because this knucklehead, I'm actually kind of glad he did it, but because we don't need that kind of crap on a jury, but one of the jurors was dismissed because he told a joke about Jacob Blake. Jacob Blake. Jesus, I can't read my own writing. Jacob Blake, he was the black man who was shot by police that sparked this protest in Kenosha. The juror, who was a retired white man, made the joke to a court police officer as that officer was escorting him to his car on Wednesday. And the officer reported the joke to the judge, whose name is Bruce Schroeder. No peanuts joke here. So this gentleman was called before the judge and the lawyers on Thursday morning, and the juror confirmed that he made the joke, but he declined to repeat it. Now, it was, I'm not sure that this part of it's in quotes, but I'm not sure who said it. I believe it was one of the prosecutors said, it was my understanding it was something along the lines of, and here's the joke, so forgive me. Why did the Kenosha police shoot Jacob Blake 7 times? Yes, the prosecutor said that. His name is Thomas Binger. And Binger said, it is my understanding that the rest of the joke is because they ran out of bullets. So this knucklehead tells this joke to a court officer. Now, Blake, who was 29 years old at the time, was shot 7 times in the back by a police officer. Last name is Shesky. He is a white Kenosha police officer, and he was shot outside an apartment building on August 23rd, 2020. Now, police have been called to the building by a woman who had previously filed a sexual assault complaint against Blake. Blake was left paralyzed from the waist down. Both police and Blake acknowledged he was holding a knife, though Blake says he was moving to place it in his car after it fell from his pants. Right or wrong, shouldn't have had the knife. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. But he shouldn't have had 7 pieces of lead showing a shot into his back either. The prosecutor asked the judge to dismiss the juror, saying the joke suggested racial bias. Now, Rittenhouse's defense lawyers initially opposed the dismissal, but then they ultimately declined to object after the juror refused to repeat the joke, saying that his unwillingness to do so could be taken in a worse light. Worse than the joke? Not so sure. Regardless whether the issue is as grave as the prosecution presented it in terms of inner feelings, it's clear that the appearance of bias is present, and it would seriously undermine the outcome of the case. And this was said by Judge Schroeder as he dismissed the juror. Schroeder continued in saying, the public needs to be confident that this is a fair trial. So now this jury now consists of 11 women and 8 men, 12 who will ultimately serve on the jury panel, while the other 7 are considered to be alternates. All but one of the jurors are white. So, good for them for acting on it, and glad this knucklehead decided to make his true feelings known, because, we just don't need that kind of negativity in our judicial system. All right, so I don't know how many people are out there, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this game, because I had a nice Hangman game, but there's not enough people out there to warrant a game of Hangman. So, if you're out there and you're watching, other than my beautiful bride, make a comment in the comment section so I know you're there, because I need at least 3 people to have a good Hangman game. It's really not a whole lot of fun with just my wife yelling out letters. Not that I wouldn't mind you yelling out letters, honey. That's not the problem. It's just eventually you'll get it, just by all the letters that you'll yell out, or you'll get hung. So we'll give that a minute. I'll tell you what I'll do is I'm going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll either play Hangman or we'll find out who has the dubious honor of winning the GFI award this week. So you are watching the Paul Report. Stick around. We'll be right back. Oops. Wah, wah.
Do you have a nominee for Go F Yourself? Email thepaullreport@gmail.com. The Paul Report will return in just a moment. God help us all.
Hello, my name is Andrew and you are watching the Paul Report. Having known Paul for some time, I only this to say, he is a real piece of work. See, I am a computer-generated AI, so I have to say anything he types in. Darmok and Jalad. At Tanagra. Darmok and Jalad on the ocean. With his arms wide open. Paul, you are such an asshole. The Paul Report will return in just a moment.
Hi, my name is Janice, and you're listening to The Paul Report. Good choice.
You're listening to The Paul Report, and that's on you.
Hi, I'm Sarah Kravitz. You are listening to The Paul Report. Good luck. Hope you have a good day.
Hi, this is Paul, and you're listening to the Paul Report. It's kind of sad when you have to do your own promos. It is kind of sad when you have to do your own promos, but that's okay. I don't mind doing my own promos. If you want to do a promo, hit me up. Anywhere. Facebook, YouTube, my website, although I don't have anything to collect information on my website yet. But you can email me at thepaulreport@gmail.com. That's thepaulreport@gmail.com. I am going to say this. I don't have enough viewers to do Hangman as much as I love the game. I have just a few people watching tonight. So I will forego Hangman this week, and I will save it for next week. I did purchase a new camera this week, and a friend of mine was selling his old camera because he bought a new one, so I got this at an incredibly discounted price. And I've invested a little bit into it. I bought a memory card. I bought some other stuff. But one of the things I'm doing with it, I'm experimenting with it tonight, is I'm using it as the main camera for tonight's show. And I'm going to be trying it out for a couple weeks and see if it's, see if it works for me, see if it's a good option for this show. I mean, I think I look good. I mean, it takes a lot to make me look good, but quite frankly, this camera's taking off those extra 10 pounds that I gained, so we'll see. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I like the way it looks. I like the way it frames. I like it. I like it. I also like shooting pictures with it. I'm starting to rediscover photography, which is kind of cool. And we'll see what happens. So if you are like me, you want to know who won the GFY this week. So I am here to tell you that moment is now. Alrighty, so this week's winner of the GFY Award is yet another one of the Capitol rioters from the January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol that sought to disrupt the process of confirming now President Joe Biden as the president. So the winner this week is, for the love of God, why, oh why? Okay, so the winner this week is a real estate agent from suburban Dallas who flaunted her participation in the January 6th riot on social media and later bragged that she wasn't going to jail because she's white, has blonde hair, and a good job. Well, she was sentenced today to 2 months behind bars. And some of the rioters sentenced for the same misdemeanor conviction have only received probation or home confinement. Prosecutors sought incarceration for this lovely lady by the name of Jennifer Lee Ryan. Jennifer Lee Ryan is of Frisco, Texas. And they were saying that she has shown a lack of remorse and candor for her actions when the pro-Trump mob attacked the Capitol building and delayed Congress's certification of the Electoral College victory. They also said Ryan's belief that she was shielded from punishment shows she doesn't fully grasp the seriousness of her crime. Now, Ryan wasn't facing a felony for more serious conduct, but the U.S. District Judge Christopher Cooper said she was still among the mob who overnumbered police and caused damage to the Capitol building. Though Ryan said she was sorry for her actions, Cooper questioned whether she is remorseful and has respect for the law. He stated, "Your actions since January 6th make me doubt some of those things," the judge said. Prosecutors said Ryan traveled to Washington on a jet chartered by a Facebook friend. She described Trump's rally before the riot as a prelude to war. She live-streamed her entry into the building as the alarm sounded. She participated in a chant of "Fight for Trump." She also tweeted a photo of herself next to broken windows outside the Capitol and later said she deserved a medal for what she did. Her lawyer responded that she was in the building for only 2 minutes, didn't act violently, and had a First Amendment right to speak up on social media. Well, you can't be a little pregnant. Sure, she didn't act violently, and yes, she does have a First Amendment right to speak up on social media. But guess what? One of those is a misdemeanor. She wasn't supposed to be in the building. She was trespassing. Doesn't matter that she didn't act violently. It doesn't matter that she has a First Amendment right to speak up on social media. That's all well and good. She was in the building when she wasn't supposed to. Anyway, then the judge referred to Ryan's March 26 tweet in which she said, now I get to put it up there, "Definitely not going to jail. Sorry, I have blonde hair, white skin, a great job, a great future, and I'm not going to jail. Sorry to rain on your hater parade. I did nothing wrong. Now, in a letter to the judge, Ryan denied believing she was immune to punishment, saying she was merely responding to people who made fun of her appearance and called for her to be imprisoned. She said her attorney told her at the time that prosecutors would be recommending a sentence of probation. Just like everyone in Shawshank, lawyer fucked me. Anyway, she was later quoted as saying, "I was attacked and I was answering them." Now, she is the 10th person charged in the January 6th attack to get jail or prison sentence. More than 650 people have been charged for their actions at the Capitol that day. Prosecutors said Ryan has since downplayed the violence at the Capitol and falsely claimed to probation authorities that she didn't know. Nope, my thing went out. That she didn't know. Hey, Janice, how are you? That she didn't know there was a riot until she came to the Capitol, even though she had recorded herself in a hotel room watching news coverage of rioters climbing the walls of the Capitol. So after the riot, Ryan said she faced a backlash that included death threats, public heckling, and graffiti painted on her real estate signs. She said she had to change her name and disguise herself in public. Ryan tweeted a photo of herself next to broken windows and holding her fingers in a V sign with a caption saying, "Windows at the Capitol. And if the news doesn't stop lying about us, we're going to come after their studios next." Shortly afterwards, Ryan posted another tweet about a crowd damaging equipment belonging to news organizations, including the Associated Press. She tweeted it was a cool moment when rioters went to town on the AP equipment. Ryan is expected to start serving her sentence in January. So, let me go back up here. Ms. Jennifer Lee Ryan, or whatever your name is now, because you changed it, and however you disguised yourself going around town so people don't heckle you, I award you this week's GFY award.
Go yourself.
Yes. 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 Go F yourself. If you can't do the time, don't do the crime. All right. So let's see what I got going on here. Yeah, still only got a couple people here. Janice, you can watch the replay and you can get the whole story about Miss Jennifer Lee Ryan, winner of this week's GFY award. And yeah. So I'll tell you what, I am going to cut this show short. Mainly because we don't have enough people for Hangman and I have no guest. So I want to thank you all. Again, join us next week for next week's The Paul Report. Again, we will be hopefully having a guest. We will also have the season finale, possibly series finale of The Paul Report Health Update. And I will be gearing up for my endoscopy for next Friday morning. So I hope you can join us. This show will be available on Apple Podcasts pretty shortly because there won't be much to edit. And you can watch it on YouTube. You can watch it on Facebook for a little bit, but I'm going to start clearing out Facebook of all the old shows probably in the next couple weeks. So we'll see how that goes. So thank you, everyone. Janice, Jen, thank you for being here. Hope you have a good week, a good night. Oh, I almost forgot. The reason why the title of the show was Rockin' the Haftorah, Bob Rockin' Haftorah, is because today is the anniversary of Bobby's bar mitzvah back in 1978. This was Bobby's bar mitzvah day, November 4th, 1978. I believe I have that date right. And this date is also the date that our grandfather, Reuben Kravitz, passed away back in 1965. November 4th, 1965. Our grandfather, who I never met, obviously, Bobby never met, possibly Cheryl and Janice may have met him in their infancy, but he passed away on November 4th, 1965 as well. Or, sorry, was it 1965? Bobby was born in 65. I believe he did pass away in 1965. I believe so. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. Anyway, you've been listening or watching the Paul Report. I want to thank you all. I want to thank Vincent. I want to thank Jules for hanging out with me. And you, my lovely audience. I appreciate you, and you add to my happiness every day. And I hope you have a good week. And yeah, so that, as we say, is that. Now we're just going to find my end credits so I can end this blasted show. Nope, not there. I don't know where they are. So I think I'm just going to do it from here. All right, everybody. Have a good week. Bye-bye.
The time has come for us to ride on to our next adventure.
We're gonna have a three-way with the Declaration of Independence.